Hi, I'm Mariah.
And I'm Ellie.
And this is our cartoon podcast.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and today we have something really special.
Mariah wants me to cry.
We're gonna do like a top 10 list of emotional moments in cartoons that made us cry.
Okay, but that's like not clickbait worthy, so it's like top 10 tear-jerking moments in animation.
Yeah. Ellie's got 5 and I've got 5 that we're gonna talk about.
And 5 plus 5 is 10.
Yeah, which makes our top 10.
I remember learning that in school.
So, to start off, Ellie, what is your 5th?
Oh, you want me to start off?
Unless you want
This was your idea, but you want me to start off. Oh, I see, just put all of the weight and all of the pressure on me.
Well, would you like to start?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Because in 1986, Optimus Prime died for our sins.
Oh, that's true. You showed me that.
I know.
You told everybody at the last podcast that you'd show me that.
I know, I did, and it was sad.
It was sad. You got so sad. You held my hand.
I know. I was 5. I was 5 in 1986, which makes me 28.
You're right.
And it was her this time. So I was like the perfect age to be moved by a robot dying.
And it was so sad.
He's not the first one to die in the movie. It's like Ironhide dies, and like everyone that is voiced by people who voiced people in the cartoon pretty much just dies.
Yeah.
And that can be replaced by Leonard Nimoy.
And it was so sad.
It was.
Oh.
I can still quote most of the entire fight scene.
Oh, sweetie.
I know, I can.
My top 5 was actually a tie between two things, and I know that's kind of cheating.
It is cheating.
I know, but I can't.
The cheat police are gonna come and they're gonna arrest you.
I know, but I can't help it because I swore to myself that on this list I would only put one death in, and so I was like, well, obviously it's going to be Spike's death in Cowboy Bebop because that
spoilers
because that tore me apart. I didn't know that Spike died at the end when I bought the entire series on DVD. I just knew that I loved Cowboy Bebop, and I haven't seen all the episodes. So I watched them all in sequence, and then the last episode, he just bang, and then they all shoot him, and I'm like, what? No! And I cried.
I know.
But like another thing is that I watched Trigun in sequence.
Oh, how did I know that as soon as you brought up Bebop, Wolfwood was gonna be the next one?
I can't choose between the two. Wolfwood and Spike both just made me so emotional.
I have an interesting story about Spike's death.
Really?
I used to work for an anime store, so I got to see Spike die pretty much right after he died, because we got the video and we watched it. But 6 to 8 months later, so nearly an entire year, I was at a convention with some friends of mine from high school. And they ran the anime club for their college, right? So they ran the anime club for their college, and it had been 6 to 8 months since Cowboy Bebop had ended and it had come out and Spike had died.
Right.
So I made a comment about Spike dying because I thought, oh, we're all diehard Bebop fans. We're all at an anime convention.
Yeah.
I work at an anime store. They run an anime club. Surely they know by now that Spike is dead. But no.
Oh, no.
Apparently it was a big spoiler. They got pissed at me. One of them smacked me in the back of the head.
Oh.
I was very perturbed with that.
That's awful.
I know.
Sorry, love. Oh, that's so mean.
Yeah. It's like, well, if you love the show so much and you run an anime club, maybe watch it within 8 months.
Oh, I'm so sorry, love. Oh, that sucks.
Wolfwood deserved to die.
No, he did not.
He was a traitor the entire anime.
I know, but he was...
Well, because he changed his mind at the end. It's like his death is sad.
Yes!
Everything that made you love him was fake.
I know, but that doesn't make me love him any less. I loved him so much. And I am a huge baby. I cry at everything. The reason I wanted to do this list was because I am a huge crybaby and I cry at everything. And I was like, I wonder what things fucked me up the most. And I decided to ask Ellie to make a list with me. So that's why the list exists, because I'm a huge baby. And Wolfwood made me so sad, and so did Spike. They made me cry so much. But what was your number 4?
Well, before we get to my number 4,
Yeah?
since you've already done 2, I
Oops.
think that we should set up some ground rules. We've already set up these ground rules, but I want to let our listener,
Singular listener.
yeah, if we've still got one. No, there. So anything that's like blatant, we couldn't use. We decided that was self-explanatory. So there's no Grave of the Fireflies on either of our lists.
Yeah, we decided to stay away from things that, like, to the masses made cry, and we tried to make this list a little more personal.
Yeah, except that I'm about to break that rule because the Land Before Time, when his freaking mom dies,
Oh,
everybody cried at that. But that's on my list.
yeah. Oh, gosh, that was really upsetting for me too as a kid. That was one of the first times I ever saw somebody die on film. Oh,
There's a big lizard too.
yeah, yeah,
I love dinosaurs. That made it more real to me when I was a kid.
yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, a person dies, who cares? But it's a dinosaur.
Yeah, it's kind of like that thing where like people are dying everywhere, and you're like, but is the dog okay?
I know.
Just the innocent pup. Is he all right? Like that's all you care about in some movies.
No.
So yeah, the fact that, oh god, and she died sacrificing herself for the children. As a flippin' T-Rex just came and tried to eat the small children.
Well, that's what they do.
That's true. Well, I think that studies show that they were more scavengers now.
Well, children are scavengeable things.
Okay. I suppose. Also, it made for a very emotional scene.
Sharp tooth.
I know. Oh, that one was really sad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. What was my 4th one? I have a list. Oh! The Avatar, The Last Airbender. The Tales of Ba Sing Se. When Iroh sings.
Oh gosh.
Oh, it made me so... I cried so hard. Because it was a memoriam for the guy who voice acted Iroh.
Yeah.
And
Mako, he was a legend.
yeah, he was amazing. He did so many like childhood voices.
Well, also some not childhood voices. Like he was in Conan.
Yeah, that's true. He was in Conan, and but you said he did Aku.
Yeah, he did Aku as well from
Yeah.
Samurai Jack.
Yeah, and like, and the whole scene is just Iroh in this land that his son had fought against in the war, and his son died during that war, and he's just going towards the town, just helping the townspeople. There's one guy who tries to rob him, and Iroh takes him to like have some tea, and then they just have a conversation, and Iroh's just being a saint of a man, and then at the end he just puts up that incense for his son and sings that song, and it's so sad. Oh, Iroh. He was my favorite Avatar character.
Really?
Yeah, him and Sokka were my 2 favorites.
I like Sokka. I don't know. I still think I like Zuko better though.
Zuko's pretty rad, I have to admit. But I don't know. Iroh was such a... I don't know. Iroh and Sokka were both amazing. And, you know, like, I like all of the characters. Yeah. It's not like I hate any of them.
Yeah. But Zuko was also Rufio, so...
Yeah, that's true. Zuko was also the guy who played Rufio in Hook. And he is amazing.
He is amazing.
Dante Bosco.
I follow him on Tumblr.
Oh, do you?
I do.
He's super rad. He did a cameo in Nostalgia Critic. I love. Oh, it was so great. But anyway, back to the list. We keep getting sidetracked. What was your number 3?
These are gonna start making me cry, so maybe you should do another one because you've got like a list like 20 long.
I know, but I'm trying to only do the 5.
I know, but we're not gonna do that.
That's true. Well, number 3 was a Futurama episode.
Oh, not the one that I'm gonna do.
No, it's not yours.
Okay.
It's the Devil's Hands one.
Oh, the Devil's Hands one.
Yeah, where Fry is in love with Leela, and he gets these devil's hands, these hands that keep trying to kill him. But, like, they're amazing at this one instrument that, like, when he plays, it shows an image, like, of the music. And it's so pretty. And, like, he loses the hands when he's trying to, like, perform for Leela. And then at the end, he ends up getting his hands back, but he's not that good at the instrument. And then there's just him playing the instrument really badly, but it's just a very simple image of him and Leela holding hands, and then they just walk into the sunset.
That one's the cutest one.
Now,
per our rules, neither of us could pick the one with Seymour because that made everybody cry.
Yeah, it was very, very Hachi. No, not that one. Or which one are you talking about?
The one with the dog.
Oh,
we could not pick the one with the dog because everyone credited the one with the dog.
Yeah, it was very similar to the story of Hachi, the dog that waited for the guy at the train station.
Except longer.
Except longer, yeah. But yeah, so we decided that we weren't.
And it had Dolomite.
That's also true. But so we both chose not to do that one because it was it's the very obvious sad episode of Futurama.
So I picked the episode of Futurama with the 7-leaf clover where it ends up that his brother Yancey named his firstborn son after Fry.
Yeah.
And that he went to Mars and did all of Fry's dreams.
Yeah, and he got to. Oh, and then the scene where Fry...
It's like, knelt at the grave.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's really sad.
It was.
Yeah, like a ridiculous, like a 37-leaf clover or some shit. Man, but it was so sad.
I know.
Aw. Yeah, that's a
that one's the best one for me.
Aw, that one is truly so sad. Oh man, so that was your 3, and then I did my 3, so I guess I'll do my 2. So I guess number 4 in the list would be the Hey Arnold episode.
Oh God.
So I was telling Ellie about this episode, and I started crying just telling her about it because it makes me so sad. So the Hey Arnold story. There's a lot of sad stories in Hey Arnold. There's like Helga's past when she's talking to the counselor. There's the one where Oscar tries Arnold's teaching Oscar how to read, and it's so sad. And there's just like this book where like Oscar's reading this children's book. It's like, kitty, 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 will you pet the kitty? And then he like gets lost in the city because he can't read the street signs. He gives up at one point. It's sad. But the saddest episode was Mr. Huynh gave his daughter away in the Vietnam War. And, like, there's just a scene of him raising his baby girl to the men in the helicopter, and then he's separated from them, and every Christmas he's just so sad, and he doesn't want anything. And then Arnold finds out about the story, about how Mr. Huynh lost his daughter, and then he goes out and he tries to find her, and then eventually fails. Meanwhile, Helga's trying to find a present for Arnold, but she keeps doing all these superficial things. Mm-hmm. And then she finds out about what Arnold's trying to do, and then Helga goes out and she manages to get Mr. Huynh's daughter to the boarding house, and it's so emotional because Arnold's sitting there thinking that he's failed Mr. Huynh because he never found his daughter. Mr. Huynh's just sitting at the fireplace, and the whole boarding house is freaking out because Mr. Huynh doesn't have a present. And Mr. Huynh's just like, no, really, it's fine. And then here comes his daughter just coming through the door, and she's just like, Dad, and it's so sweet. Oh my God. It makes me cry every time. What's your second one?
I forget.
You forget?
I forget. I should have wrote it down.
Oh, sweetie.
I'm sure it'll come to me.
Okay. You want to do your saddest?
No, God.
It's your turn to cry.
No, I don't want to do that.
Do you want?
But I'm sure that Steven Universe has made me cry at some point, so...
Oh, Steven Universe was one of the ones that I was going to mention because when Amethyst mentioned that she didn't ask to be this way, I never asked to be made. That's the first time that show made me cry. Oh, Steven Universe is definitely very emotional too. Oh man, it almost made the list for me. That was an honorable mention. Oh my goodness. So do you want to do your number one first?
No, I want to do my number one last.
Okay. Well, okay. So
I don't want to do my number one at all.
Oh, so you have to at least at one point.
I know I have to, but I don't want to.
Okay, so I'll do.
You're gonna make me cry on air in front of possibly several people.
Possibly like a whole 8 people.
Yeah, we don't have that kind of numbers.
No, but okay, so I'll do my number one. But in order to do my number one, I have to set the scene.
Oh God.
Okay, so picture an 11-year-old girl going to the movie theater. Her parents are recently going through a divorce, and she goes to this movie theater. It's called the IMAX, and it's huge and it's beautiful.
Yeah, people know what an IMAX is.
Yeah. What? Jeez. Anyway, so we go to the IMAX, and I sit at the theater, and we're watching Treasure Planet. Now, the thing about this is that Treasure Planet was the very first cartoon that I'd ever seen where there was a character who didn't like his father didn't die. He just left. Like, he was just gone. And for me, that was something that really resonated with me because I've never seen anybody in television with a character, because like, you know, the 90s was really big on just killing off the mother. And and Disney was pretty much the same way. But like, there was never a moment where like the dad just left. Like, the relationship just didn't work out. And I was watching this kid struggle with the fact that he didn't get to grow up with his mother. And then he fails in a way that he feels responsible for the death of one of the coolest characters. And he's sitting there at the ship, and then here comes Silver, and he talks to Jim, and the speech that he gives Jim, he just turns him around and he says, "You've got the makings of greatness in you, but you've got to take the hell and chart your own course. Stick to it, no matter the squalls. And when the time comes that you really get to test the cut of yourselves and show them what you're made of, well, I hope I'm there, catching some of the light coming off you that day." And it was so emotional to me, because it felt almost like he was talking to me.
Sweetie.
And it's my favorite scene, and it's one of the reasons why Treasure Planet is one of my top 5 favorite movies, because that, and then the parting scene with Jim and Silver, when Silver says that there's something special in him, you're gonna rattle the stars, and just like, it was so sweet. It was the sweetest thing that I've ever seen in a show. And so that was my number one.
Oh, sweetie.
And yeah, it's one of the happiest moments in a Disney movie for me. Now, Ellie.
No.
Don't make me spoil it for you.
No, because then I'll cry anyway. All right. Ever since I saw it, I every single time I cry at the end of Gunbuster.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not my fault.
Yeah.
It's not my fault, because the entire thing is set up to make you cry.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'll assume that not everyone has seen Gunbuster, but at the beginning of the show, her dad dies. Like, he's a military guy, and he goes out and he dies. And because of, like, relativistic space, like, he's flying around like in a spaceship, and she's getting older, and he's not, and he's coming back for her birthday, and like one of these times it's her birthday, and he says, "I'll be back real soon," and she says, "Well, I'll can't wait to see you, and I'll welcome you home." And he goes off, and he doesn't come back because there are bugs in space that want to eat everyone.
Right.
So they go through the whole thing, and she gets the giant robot and kills a bunch of bugs, and like a whole lot of really emotional stuff. Smith happens.
Me too. Oh, that made me cry.
I know. I don't care for Smith, though. Smith can die.
So cold. He made me fall in love with him in one episode.
But at the end, they're going off, and they're gonna try one last thing to stop these space bugs from eating everybody, and hopefully have the human race not die.
Right.
So they're gonna go in, and they know that there's no chance that they're gonna come back, and their friend's like, well, then I'll just go with you. And her giant space robot is nowhere near as cool as their giant space robot. So it's slowly getting crushed like a beer can. And they're like, no, don't, we'll be back. Which just, we're just gonna go do this impossible thing. And she's like, what the relativistic space thing's gonna happen? Everyone's gonna grow old and die. Well, nothing happens to you. And they're like, yeah, but whatever. And then, like, there's a parallel with like a picture of her, and it relates to like a picture of her dad, because you just know that this is it. The same thing that happened to her dad is gonna happen to them, and it's an exact parallel. And then their friend says, well, I'll be there, and I'll welcome you home. And then she goes off. She doesn't get crushed like a beer can, and they save everybody. Of course, they save everybody. Mm-hmm. And then. God, stop looking at me like you're waiting for me to start crying.
I would never.
You're doing it right now. I can see that. Oh my God.
Oh, sweetie.
So they do, and they make it alive, and they're going, and they finally get back to Earth, and it's been like a few hours for them, but for everyone else, because of like light speed and whatever.
Time relativity.
Yeah. It's been 12,000 years. 12,000 years. And they get to the Earth, and there's no lights, no cities. They can't see anything. They can't detect anything. And they're like, well, I guess we failed. Everyone's dead. And, oh my God. And then, like, lights come on, and it says welcome home, and it's not spelled correctly because it's been 12,000 years. And even though it's been 12,000 years, like, they're still remembered.
Aww.
Welcome, and it was just, I can't. Why do you make me do? We're not doing any more of these lists.
Honey, but it's such a good.
And then if you watch Die Buster, which is the sequel, it just makes it worse, because you find out that people don't really remember what happened, but they know that something happened, and they get their names wrong, and like this entire civilization is just waiting for them to come home, and they do at the end, and it's. I can't handle it. I can't handle it.
So those are each of us are 5. So
I hate you.
That's our top 10. Thank you for being such a good friend, Ellie.
We're not doing lists anymore.
Oh.
Lists are. What are we gonna do? Get like a knife and cut something that's really hot? I mean, Jesus, we're just gonna do fads now. No more lists.
I'm sorry. I guess I can cross up my top 5 funniest idea. I'm sorry. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. I hope you had a great time listening to us cry. And if you guys had any sad moments that you want to mention in the comments, go for it. But yeah, thank you for listening.
This has been our podcast.
I've been Mariah.
And I'm Ellie.
See you later.